when you think about where we are in the country, whether it is more curriculums actually available that focus on the content rich discussions and building that knowledge, or more emphasis on explicit instruction in phonics and syntax, what makes you most hopeful for the future of literacy?
Well, I mean, I have a partial view of what's going on in the country because I get invited to speak at places that are interested in using this kind of curriculum and enthusiastic about it. And some of them have been using it. And so I get to hear story after story from teacher after teacher about the things that they're seeing in their classrooms. And what I hear over and over again is I never thought my kids could do these things. These kids are doing things far beyond what I expected. So I think we have been underestimating what young children and sometimes older children can do if you give them the raw material and the guidance and practice they need to reach their full potential. So it's very encouraging. I mean, there's certain parts of the country that are doing this more than others, but it's spreading. It used to be, first it was Louisiana, then it was Tennessee, and then I seem to be going to Texas every week, and now it's like Indiana and Ohio, but also the Northeast. And I think it's not totally organic because some of this is coming from above, and lists of curricula that districts and schools are encouraged or even maybe required sometimes to adopt or to choose from. But I do think it's also growing organically as word spreads. Hey, this the school in the next district, I know somebody there, and interesting things are happening. I think we need more of that. I think we need to have an easier way of identifying what curricula are schools using. It's very hard to figure this out. It's not readily available. And so how can you know what's working if you don't know what curriculum a school is using? But if we could get that information out there, and then it would be easier for educators who are curious about this to find perhaps a district nearby or a school nearby where they could go and see what this looks like. Because I think there is a lot of, it's totally understandable. Change is hard, and it's like, if you don't really understand why it's needed, or you might not want to do it. And I think there are misconceptions about this knowledge building curriculum, that it's going to be boring for kids, that it's going to be too hard for kids. If you can go to a second grade classroom like the one I spent a year following, and you see how excited kids are and how engaged they are and how proud they are of acquiring this knowledge, and that they can definitely do it, then I've heard from teachers, you come back feeling like, we got to do this.
Right, absolutely. And you talked about educators being able to know which district, if they're interested, that they can go to. I think also for parents to ask the questions of the schools. Do you have one of these knowledge building, content building rich curriculums? Similarly, as we're talking about having them, do they have an explicit word recognition component, right? Some of them do, some of them don't. You have to partner some of them with word recognition. But again, for both parents and educators to know what questions to ask of their schools so they can be informed as well. And I think the teachers, I mentioned I was trained in whole language, and we're seeing a lot of teachers as they go through professional learning, whether it's letters or something else, and they're having this aha moment. I think it's a similar experience with the knowledge gap of this partner aha of this other piece that they did not get instruction on in their undergrad programs.